All right, recording is started, and this is the October 4th, 2022 Rook community meeting. So we will start with our milestones as usual. 1.8 that doesn't have anything going on that I am aware of or needs to be going on. No further patches coming up for that. So let's move ahead on to 1.9 branch. So 1.9.11, let's see, when was that release? That was exactly a week ago. Yep.
Tuesday. Yep.
Exactly. You want to get us caught up on a couple of the main things for that, Travis?
Let's see. I mean, yeah, 1.9.11 caught up on a bunch of backwards. A lot of good little fixes. Let's see what's worth mentioning here. Glancing through those release notes. Yeah, I don't know what big ones would be worth mentioning. Just a lot of good little fixes. But assuming we don't have any big blocking issues, that may be the final patch release for 1.9. We could do another one. We'll see if there's a need, and maybe there will be, and that's fine. But there's not currently anything, I think, yet backported since that release to 1.9. And the board should be clean, although I didn't check. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Yep, board looks pretty clean.
Looks like one in completed state.
This one's closed from in the to-do column. Looks like maybe we can move that over. Otherwise, pretty clean and empty board.
But yeah, we'll clean that up afterwards.
All right. So 1.10, we do have an expected patch release. So let's look at 1.10.2 first. Was that around last week as well? Yeah, exactly the same day that we did 1.9.11. Yep. So similar patches as well, I assume.
Yeah, a lot of the same patches. I think we're pretty aggressive about backporting them to both.
Yep.
Just all
Yep.
goodness. And a couple additional ones that would have been in 1.10, like picking up the latest CSI driver, I think 3.7.1. And then, yeah, a lot of other similar things. So.
Yeah. I guess something I feel like might be worth noting is, at least my memory of the prior few releases was that we released the .0 and we pretty quickly released like .2, .3, .4, like on like a weekly cadence, and picked up some fairly big bug fixes. It seems to me that with the 1.10 release, I think we've actually been keeping like the cadence of releases that we usually keep when something is pretty stable. So I think our 1.10 release like started off at a pretty good place.
Yeah,
which is
nice.
No, I don't think we had any urgent releases needed. So it's been nice and stable.
Nice. So quality release, we say then.
Definitely.
Very good.
Yeah, so we'll stay on the bi-weekly cadence. Usually it's 2 weeks. We had over 2 weeks actually between .1 and .2, but that's when I was traveling.
Yep. And then so now that we're working towards 1.10.3, I think. So October 20th is the scheduled date for that. That's more than 2 weeks away. That's 16 days from now. So back to like a Thursday sort of thing. Is that the intent there? Or?
Oh, wait, did I mean? I meant it to be like just over 2 weeks from the last release. So the last one was
so that's probably the 13th then.
So 13th is what I meant. Yeah, I'll update that.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, that makes more sense. And so typical cadence then. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then any of the issues here on the 1.10 board that need to be discussed?
Not really from me, at least. Anybody else? Yeah, none of these are in the blocking release column, but we should probably review some of these and see which are features to move out to 1.11 in the to-do column. But yep.
Okay.
We're okay.
Looking good then. All right. Then finally, then we can move on to 1.11, which is definitely very forward looking since it's about a quarter away from us now. So we're talking about 2023 here. The project board here is probably an early planning for this, so it's not super populated yet either.
Yeah, one whole issue is showing up in the board, so we should.
So there'll be more accomplished by January than that.
Right. So we'll make an effort by next meeting to add more work items here and move on to some feature planning instead of just the bug fixes and backporting. Yeah, I put a tentative date there as January. I mean, we could move it up to December just before the holiday break, Christmas break and everything. But the reality is January may just be better, or if somebody wants it in December, we could shoot for that. But January will be more like we've been really a 4-month cadence. I think Kubernetes is more on a 4-month cadence.
Yeah, that's what they moved to as well. Yeah, and I have no problem with that cadence either. If there's something like a feature that comes up that is, highly in high demand, then we can maybe think about doing it before holidays. But if that feature planning hasn't really been done yet, and it doesn't seem like there's something super obvious burning on our minds that would be driving an accelerated release either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I assume that would be mid to late January as well. Given that I assume we'll be, doing the sort of final, at least 1 week of this is our bug fix period. There's a beta release and then a GA release.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to say mid-January is the target in my mind, just because the last week of January, I've planned a vacation already. So mid-January might be good.
Cool. Sounds good. That all sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anything else then that we want to talk about for milestone planning, or we can move on to the community topics section?
Works for me.
All right. And just checking the chat real quick. Welcome, Santosh, to the call here as well. It's good to have you here.
Hey, hi everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions or anything that you wanted to, get into or discuss while we're going through the call here too.
Yeah, I was thinking I will start looking into Rook and start fixing some small bugs if there are, and let's get started from there.
Awesome, sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we've got some bugs labeled with good first issue label. If you want to look for those, that might be a good place to start.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So I don't see Alexander here. And he wanted to talk about long-term supports stuff. So maybe we could postpone this one for a little bit more and put it at the bottom of the agenda. And then if Alex shows up, we can go into it then. Or we can kind of drive some of the early thinking on the discussion without him as well at the end.
I'll ping him real quick.
Okay. Well, let's give him a chance then.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive on in, Travis, into your topic around disaster recovery improvements in our disaster recovery documentation.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, for this one, we were talking in the Rook huddle yesterday about the disaster recovery and what we can do to improve it, because this whole page on disaster recovery, it's a lot of very manual steps, and they're not, I mean, as documentation, it's not tested regularly. It's not in the CI. So we really want a focus area is to improve and automate a lot of these steps, so it's not so tedious. So the crew plugin, which we've been putting a lot of effort into recently, especially with Shabam and Parth, we can start building on that. And I'm prototyping this week on restoring Mon quorum after quorum is lost. And anyway, I think it'll just be a lot of goodness and be nice to have. So just wanted to point out we're putting some more effort into that area.
Nice. And Travis, do you think this is something in 1.11 that we'll be focusing on?
Yeah, and even, I mean, a lot of besides the documentation, the implementation of this will be in the crew plugin. So technically it'll be separate from any Rook release, because we released the crew plugin as a tool pretty much whenever we have a new feature ready. So we would just need to update the Rook documentation when that is implemented, and we'll backport it. So it's not, I guess I'm just saying it's not a 1.11 thing. I think it'll be ready as soon as it's ready.
What Travis, how are you thinking about like the division of responsibility between like the plugin, the kubectl plugin and the Rook operator, and when you would put this type of functionality into the plugin versus having it as part of the operator functionality and exposing it there?
Right. I mean, I guess the simplest way I can define that is the operator is for a desired state, and the tool is for one-time actions, which, when you're doing disaster recovery, I mean, you desire to get the cluster back up online, but it's not really ongoing desired state, right? It's a one-time do these operations and then you're done, and you don't need to do them ever again until the next disaster, if there's one. But operators for ongoing reconciles, where we're constantly making sure we're in that state and running the same commands over and over with, idempotent, I can never say that word, idempotent action. So,
got it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. The division of responsibilities.
Yeah,
cool. So and then the start of,
unless there's questions.
And so the start, Travis, of that functionality would be about restoring Mon quorum. Like that's the disaster recovery task to focus on first for automation.
Yeah, that's the kind of the simplest of the automation. Or the simplest of those disaster recovery scenarios.
Cool. Sounds great. Yeah, I think that'll help a lot of people for sure. I mean, you never want people to have to use it, but if they do, having streamlined approach area is going to be helpful. Okay. Travis, do you want to update us on something exciting for Red Hat and IBM World?
Yep. So this just came out this morning in the news. There's a press release from IBM about it. And as soon as this is over, I'll post it in the announcements of the Rook Slack so that everybody will know. But so those of us employees of Red Hat working on Ceph and Rook and pretty much all of that related to storage will be officially moving over to the IBM storage business unit. So we'll become, it's kind of the acquisition within the acquisition, right? Red Hat was already acquired by IBM a few years ago. Has it been 3 years already? But now, and we've been really acting independently since that acquisition. But now they're taking the whole storage unit and moving us as employees over to IBM storage, which will give us, I think, a lot better long-term growth perspectives and opportunities for the storage. So I'm excited about it. So from Rook's perspective, though, we don't expect anything to change. It's still upstream first. Our email addresses will change, although we'll still have our Red Hat email addresses for a while or forever. And we'll still keep working on Rook, and it'll be good. I don't know. Any questions? That's really in a nutshell, and it's a pretty big thing. So happy to have separate conversations about it too.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing by far is that, the statement here that commitment to upstream Rook and Ceph remains the same, right? Like that on a day-to-day basis isn't changing anything, that's still investing in it. No concerns about that. I think that's like by far the most important thing. So thanks for clarifying that, Travis, and sharing that with us. One thing I was curious about is just by skimming this article here real quick is what exactly does the Red Hat Openshift Data Foundation cover? It's saying it will remain 100% open source. What all projects does that cover?
Yeah, ODF is really, mainly there's an OCS operator which provides an opinionated install of Rook and Ceph. And so really, I think of it as Rook plus Ceph, plus there's a Nuba is another technology in there for object storage. And they've been adding some more things that I haven't been keeping track of, honestly. But those are the main things that I think of it as.
Okay.
And it's all been focused on running an Openshift. And that's been our only product offering. So now with IBM, there'll be more product opportunities to integrate stuff. Yeah, the Ceph is the future of storage. It's here.
Yeah, for sure. And then like usage of the word foundation here, is that not the same as foundation in the sense of Ceph Foundation, Linux Foundation, Cloud Native Computing Foundation? This is like more like
that's the product name.
Yeah, like the foundation of your data platform type of thing, right?
Yeah, it's a marketing thing. It used to be called.
That confused me a little bit. Is by seeing foundation there and like it will remain open source. I was like, oh, what projects belong to that foundation? That confused me. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, the product used to be called Openshift Container Storage, and 6 months ago or something they renamed it.
That's what I remember.
Or was that last year? They renamed it to the ODF.
OpenShift. Got it. Okay, so it's just a new name for that. Totally got it. Cool.
That's what happens when marketing gets a hold of things. It makes it more confusing.
And Travis, you said that there will also be a Ceph blog post that's coming out as well. That's not quite ready.
Yeah, let me see if it might be up now. I haven't seen it.
Yes. See if it's there and drop a link if it is.
Okay. I'll have to. I don't see it yet, but
okay.
I'll keep looking. Ceph blog. Let's see. I don't know. I don't see it there yet. I'll ping the Ceph devs that were working on it. Neha and Josh. So, okay. If I don't see it from them in the next 15 minutes, I'll just post without that.
Yep, that sounds good. Yeah, you can drive that then. All right. Okay. And then I don't see Alex still, but we can kind of get into some of the high level things here about long-term support, LTS stuff. Because we do have like a working process. I was kind of surprised. I thought we had written down the general approach we take there, but is that just kind of, like not ad hoc, but just kind of the way we do things kind of naturally?
I think the discussion has been in a GitHub issue, but we haven't added it to our official documentation. I have kind of, I guess, dragged my feet. It's probably my fault more than anything if people really want to document it, but I've not put it, my intention was to not put it there so that we can be more flexible or do what's best for the community in any given moment. Like if someone really needs to back support something, or just to walk through these bullets I added there. So we can backport fixes to as far as people need to. That's not really a problem. But then the problem really is maintaining CI. It's we've switched to GitHub Actions from Jenkins. There was a recent change to update Ubuntu because Ubuntu 18 support's going away. So since it's difficult to maintain the CI for the older versions, that's where saying we support long-term some given Rook releases is a challenge. So if people want to build themselves, they can do that for any branch and we'll backport it anywhere. But that's really my concern, is maintaining CI. There's a cost to it, and it's not unlimited resources. So we always try and do what the community needs. And honestly, I don't feel like we've had requests so much to backport things beyond the last 2, maybe 3 releases. Whenever people hit issues with the older clusters, it's configuration or environment issues that once they work through it, then they can upgrade. So historically, at least, we've had a good record that way of not needing to do old releases. Other thoughts? I'm rambling a bit, but I have a lot of opinions, I guess, on that.
Yeah, I'm very much, in support of having an explicit policy of, like the last 2, like the current 3 releases, like something like that, having a specific number to it, as opposed to, oh yeah, we can go back and do 1. Blah blah blah. That like it backports okay, and then we'll try to get the CI going. I think it, like, being more explicit about it seems pretty good. Was Alex coming at this so from like a like a more traditional or classic like LTS type of thing, where you have LTS releases, and then you've got ones that it stays supported for a long time, but then you've got some ones there that's like will drop out more quickly, and then like that sort of thing? Or
yeah, all I know is that, well, and I think it was Alex. He didn't put his name next to it. I did. I put his name with a question mark there.
Oh.
He put that 1 bullet for long-term support. I think he's coming at it from the perspective of Core, who, I mean, their goal is to support people on Rook upstream, basically, right? So we'll have to follow up with him and see what his real goal is.
Yeah, maybe it'd be good if he's got some more specific direction that he, or pain points that he wants to solve. Essentially, like the most of the stuff you're bringing up here, Travis, seems reasonable to me. I'd be more like fine also, like going to a more specific explicit policy. So not like just like keeping it flexible, but like the 2 or 3 whatever most recent releases is something that's reasonable to be explicit about a policy than that, and not do patches or maintain older ones. And that is something that would be okay with me.
Yeah, that's reasonable. And Kubernetes, I feel like, has a nice example there, and you link cross planes. So yeah,
we can use that as reference too.
Yep, that's cool. Yeah, so let's follow up with Alexander, and then let's put together an official policy. People keep asking, so if we had a doc to point people to, we wouldn't have to rehash everything too.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a really good idea, and then just be very explicit about it. Okay, cool. So we can follow up on that. Anything else then that did not yet make it to the agenda doc? Okay. Then if that's all, then we can go ahead and adjourn for the week.
All right. Good talking with you, Jared.
Yep. Good seeing all y'all, and good luck with your new IBM home.
Yeah.
For the last, I feel like I've been saying it for like the last 2 years at least. now it's meaningful.
Yeah, the acquisition within the acquisition.
Yeah, seriously, nested acquisitions. All right, see you guys. Good to see y'all.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.